Hey everyone, today what we're going to do is we're going to go into Azure Foundry, deploy a model, and then we are going to create a custom connector connecting to that model. We're going to make some changes. We're going to show you how you change visibility of the parameters, and we're going to use it in a very basic Power Automate flow. Let's get into it. All right, so when you first log into your Azure AI Foundry resource, this is what it looks like. It has your endpoints and it has your keys. So we're going to use this endpoint to create a custom connector. But first, we need to set up some models. So this is a brand new, fresh Azure AI Foundry resource. I'm going to delete it right after this video. So if you try and access it, the endpoints are not going to work. It's going to all be deleted. But the first thing we're going to do, and you may see like a lot, right? You may see all of this open. I like to kind of close it. And where my eyes normally go is in the assets. And I'm going to go to models and endpoints. Now you can go to the model catalog to learn about your models if you want. If you want to learn about them, we kind of went through this in the last video. But today we're just going to deploy a model. And it's going to be a base model. We're not fine tuning anything, right? So fine tuning is like, you know, kind of grounding your model into a certain specific task or knowledge. What we're going to do is we're going to deploy a base model. We're going to pick one that's different. We do have the new GPT-5 out already. So that's today. Let's try O3. Let's try O3 Mini. There it is right here. Let's do O3 Mini chat completion. That's fine. All looks good. Let's see. So here's the name. If you change the name, that is important. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Deployment type, always double check this. We went over this in the last video. You have global standard, data zone standard, right? So this is where your data can go. So data might be processed globally, right? It might go outside of your country. Data zone standard. So outside of the Azure resource, Azure geography, but data remains in the Azure AI Azure geography. So you can read more about that if you want. But since we're just dev testing, I'm going to do global. I'm going to lower the rate per minute a good bit because I'm dev testing. I don't want to accidentally consume a lot of tokens. And then, I want to mention, always open this up. This isn't always open for me. So double check it, make sure that all looks good, open that up, and then click deploy. So we have now deployed O3 Mini. We have some details here on the right side. It looks like this one only has REST available, the documentation, which is fine. That's perfect for us. But what's important to us is our endpoint, our key, and then this area down here. So this is our endpoint. And then we have our headers, right? So we have headers down here. And then we have some messages. And then we have a couple of parameters. So not that many. Let's see. So here we have different roles and assistant. And once again, just the max completion tokens. So let's go ahead and start basic. And then we'll do something a little bit more complex. I'm going to head over to Power Automate. You can go to Power Apps if you want, but what's important is on the left side here, you can click on Custom Connectors if you see it. If you do not see Custom Connectors, you click on More. You may or may not see it here. You can click on Discover All and scroll down, and then you can pin Custom Connectors to the left side. So on the left side here, we are going to create a custom connector. So a new custom connector from blank. This is one I created for an infographic I made in LinkedIn. So if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, I've been making some nice infographics there also. So we are going to create from blank and give it a name. So let's just say Azure and YouTube, Azure AI Foundry. All right. And so now you can upload an icon if you want. You can change the background color. If you have a transparent icon, give it a description. So this is Azure AI Foundry. Ooh, if I can spell, Foundry Custom Connector. It is HTTPS. Now the next part, this is where we're going to grab from our documentation. All right, so right here on the left side, I have a window with my Azure AI Foundry. I'm going to scroll down. It is in REST with a curl. We're going to use key authentication, which is what we want. Let's scroll down a little bit. This right here is the prefix that I want. So let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. There we go. Let me zoom out a little more. There we go. So right here, this curl, we want this prefix right up to the .com. Just like, so kind of look at the gray text right there, right? Like api.contoso.com, right? So that's where that ends. That's our host. Now the base URL, that's the next part of our connection, and that's the OpenAI. So if you're using an OpenAI model, most likely it will be like this. You could probably create multiple OpenAI models using the same connector. All right, so OpenAI, I'm gonna paste in the base URL. That's all we need to do for general. You can add a logo in here if you want to. Let's add a logo for fun. All right, I added a little logo in there. It's not a transparent background, I don't think so, but that's fine. Got a little logo in there. Now we're gonna click the next button for security. Authentication is gonna be through an API key. Now the parameter label, I put this in an infographic. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, I have the exact information that you need to put in there. And that is authorization. Authorization, if I can spell right. So I have to make sure I can spell right. It's going to be same thing for the parameter name and header. And how do I know this? So take a look at the documentation. Right here, it's this header part right here, authorization. This is what we're putting in. That's the parameter label and name, and it's part of the header. The content type we will add later. All right, so let's click definition. Now this is where we can create multiple definitions or actions. So we're gonna do new action here. And for the new action, now for this summary, you're gonna actually see this in Power Automate. So you'll actually see this. Let's call this, what we did, O3 Mini. Let's just call it O3 Mini. And so you're going to actually see this in Power Automate. So the summary is very important. Description, I will say call upon O3 Mini from Azure AI Foundry. Now the operation ID, this is probably something you will not see. I don't think, I'm trying to think, do I ever see this? I don't think I see, but it's just an ID, right? You can't add spaces in here, right? So it needs to be simple, call AI Foundry. Now, I'm going to change this to visibility. We need to understand the different visibilities. I went over this in my little cheat sheet, but you just need to understand how each of these work. So let's find, so right here, let's zoom in right here. None is default, right? So you'll just see it. Important means it will be shown at the top of the list. Advanced will mean it'll be under in a drop down. And internal means you will not see it. It will be hidden from the user, right? So we're going to leave visibility of none, which is fine. I think we'll go back and forth, but I'm going to start off with this one as important, right? I want O3 Mini at the top. To me, this is most important. Now the next part, this request, this is where we're going to put in that body. So if we look at our information right here, so right in here, this is where we're going to put in the body. Right? So the body of our call. So I'm going to say import from sample, and it is a post. So let's look at our, I wish I could have this up easier. So right here, it's a post, right? It's a post. Right here, it's a post. Now the next part is the URL. So take a look at that URL. This is the rest of our call. So let's take a look in here. So we did our prefix, then we did OpenAI, right? Now we need to do deployments, mini, and the rest of it. So the URL, I'm actually going to change this right here. So this is just an example. I'm going to put this in brackets and just say, I'm going to say deployment name, right? So that's our deployment name. So take a look at that. That is all that right in there. We do have the API version, which could be important later on. Now, this is just how I do it. There could be a couple different ways, but this is how I've learned to do it, right? So we have our URL up there, our headers. Notice that. Content type, application JSON. Content type, application JSON. So if I take that back out, you can see the example right there. Makes it easy for you. Now the body. The body is the exact information that they gave it here. So we're going to use all of this right here in between the brackets. That's our body. We have messages, role, content, max completions, model. Now you maybe don't need role and all that, but I'm going to leave it in. So this is our import from sample, and this is going to create our request. And so look now we have our deployment name, right? That was in brackets. We have our query. That was the 2025 preview. So we can change that too. Our content type, that's always going to be application JSON. And then our body. Okay, so deployment name. Deployment name is the same description, summary. The default value. The default value is what is 03. Is that, well, let's look at the information again. It's 03 mini. So right there. 03 mini. So it's actually coming from right here. So that's what we're writing in our deployment name, 03 mini. Okay. Is required. Yes. Let's leave it as visibility none. We'll make a drop down on another one. But okay, so that's deployment name. I'm going to go ahead and click next. Oh, I'm going to go back. Actually, you have to be very careful with what I just did. So when you're right here, you actually don't click the arrow here. You actually click back because we have to fill in the rest of this. API version. Once again, is required. Yes, this is our information right here. Now we're going to put in this right here, 2025-01-01 preview is required. We maybe want to make this like you be able to write in there. I'm not sure. Or maybe it turns into a drop down at some point. Let's just change it to important for now. Okay, string. I'm not gonna make it a drop down. You know, you can make it a drop down or dynamic. We're gonna leave that as it is. Now, content type. This one's easy. This is application JSON. Application JSON, right? Straight from the header. That's all that is. Straight from your header. Application/JSON. Is required. Yes. We'll just say this one is, we'll say no visibility on this one. And then we'll click back again. Okay, well, let's make it required. It should be required. Yes, required. And you'll notice that it gets a star there now, right? Now here's the important part, the body. So now look in the body. Now we have 4 other parameters that we can fill in. Is this required? 100% yes. Very important. Max completion tokens. The default value that they gave in the documentation. So max completion tokens, the default value that they gave was 100,000. That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm going to go to 10,000. I'm going to go to 10,000. Is this required? 100% yes. Once again, I'm going to say this is important. And this time I'm going to give it static values, right? So now you're going to be able to choose which one you want. So 10,000, comma, 50,000, comma, 100,000, right? So let's make sure. Oh, wait, that's an extra 0. Okay, so 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. So that one's going to be a drop down. We'll come back and look at that. All right, so it is required. Good. Content. This is what the user is going to write, right? So the content, the default value, write your prompt here. We kind of want to give the user some extra hint. So write your prompt here. Yes, it's required. Important. And it's a string. Good. Role. Now this is where you could have multiple roles. And I believe this is in an array. So let's take a look at that again. So you see the role in content is actually in an array, right? That's those square brackets. So the role, The default value is going to be user is required, yes, important. I'm going to give it a static value. I want to give them two roles. I want to give them user and system. I don't know if system works in O3 Mini. That's a good question. We'll just do user. And on the next one, we'll talk about system prompt. So we'll just do user. It's not a drop down. And then we'll go back. And then let's make sure model, the default value, this is the O3 Mini. So you see that right there, O3 Mini. Required, yes. It's none visibility. Looks good. Now we go back, we can see everything looks good. Body's required. Now I'm going to hit next code. I'm just going to keep going. Test. I don't need a test. I'm going to create the connector. The host name cannot contain scheme. All right, so I made a mistake. That's fine. I'm going to leave the error in here. We're going to take that out, right? We have HTTPS here. We don't need to write it in the host name. Let's go ahead and click create again. That's fine. I don't mind a few errors. I feel like the more errors I make, the more I'm going to learn, the more we're all going to learn. If I just do everything perfect, we don't learn as easily, I don't think. All right, so while that's creating, I'm going to right click and open a new window. I'm going to go to an instant Cloudflow, manual, test custom connector. All right, so now we're waiting for that. It looks like it's finished. So now we're going to add our custom connector. So down here you have custom, and you can see it's not there yet. Let's give it a refresh. All right, so it did take a little bit of time for it to show up. Maybe it's like in the browser cache. I reloaded my browser. Now I go to new flow, instant Cloudflow, test new connector, manual. So if you don't see it, just kind of give it 5 minutes or restart your browser. And then now we're going to go in here, click the plus and scroll down to custom above my head here. And I'm in the way, but you can see my 2 custom connectors. So this is the one I created a few days ago. This is the one we just created right now. And notice it says O3 Mini, right? So let's take a look at that. That matches right here. I believe that's the summary. So we'll change it too. So O3 Mini, it matches it, has our little guy, connection name, O3, let's say Azure AI Foundry, not factory. Now authorization, this is where you put your API key in. So I'm going to skip over this part. So you're going to copy this key and put it into your connection. All right, so I'm going to skip over this part of the video. All right, so I have my API key in there. Now I'm going to create new. And that is going to give us our connection. All right, so now we're going to be able to see all that information that we had before. So API version. Look, when we selected none, we're able to type in there. Messages body. This is our role. We're not seeing user in there, even though we wanted that default. I wonder if we left it blank, if it would say user. But the content, let's ask it a question. Does a salad contain lettuce? Simple answer. Max completion tokens. Remember, we had a drop down and we had 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. I don't like how it's in that order, but okay. The model is here. The deployment name is here. So these we maybe want to hide. And content type application JSON. I think at least deployment name and content type we're going to hide. But we'll do that in a second. Let's test one time. So we have our content and our role user. Go ahead and test, manual, test, continue, run flow. It should reach out to Azure AI Foundry, our O3 Mini model, and return to us a simple answer. I think O3 Mini will not be too simple. It'll be pretty detailed, but let's check it out. Let's check out the raw outputs here. So right here, so yeah, it's not a simple answer. It depends. Many salads include lettuce, but not all salads do. All right, so it worked. That's what's important. It worked. It did return to us an answer. Now let's go in here and let's change some things. I want to, because even I get confused on this stuff. This stuff drives me crazy because the visibility none to me means you don't see it, right? But obviously that's not true. None is just normal. It's just default. So important, it's at the top. Advanced, it's in a drop down. Internal, you don't see it, all right? So let's go to our deployment name. This one, internal, right? I didn't like that you saw deployment name here. I don't want you to be able to change that. Internal. Go back. What's the other one? Content type. I don't want you to be able to change that. I don't want someone to accidentally change it. Internal visibility. Go back. Oh, wrong back. Be careful. Hit this back. Okay. We did content type, deployment name, model. For now, let's keep that the same. Completion tokens, it's a drop down. Role, I want to change role. Let's change role here in the body, our role, right? I want this to be default. The description, let's just change it to user, right? That's that grayed out text. When we did our role, it says role there. It's not very helpful. So let's do a default of user. Now we can make this internal or important. Let's do internal for this one. And let's do back. Okay, so we're no longer going to see role. API version. This may need to be on there because this may change. I'm going to leave that on there for now. And then now I'm going to go back and I'm going to update connector. Right, so we changed some of the visibilities. Visibility none to me is super confusing. Visibility none means default. You can see it. That means no changes. I think that's what that means. All right, so let's go ahead and hit back. Let's see how fast those changes come in. And then when we hit edit, and hopefully it's updated, we'll come in here. You notice we don't see, we do still see everything. Let's give it a little bit of time. Invalid parameters. That's good. Oh, good. So now it kind of messed up, but that's fine. Let's just delete the whole thing. I need to delete the whole thing, and let's put it back in there. Custom, YouTube, Azure Foundry, O3 Mini. Now look at that. We see our API version. It's at the top. That's fine. Now we only see content. Where do squirrels sleep in the winter? Simple answer. Max completion tokens is a drop down. Model is still there. We could probably change that. But the thing is, if we never deployed that model, will it work? No, it won't. We have to deploy that model. All right, so let's go ahead and give it another test. Now we showed how visibility, internal, and all of that works. And what happens if you change it after you make a flow, right? It breaks your flow, and you have to re-add the connector. All right, so now we got some outputs. Okay. Most tree squirrels sleep in nests called drays. I had no clue. Which are built during the winter. I didn't know they were called drays. D-R-E-O. Which are built from twigs and leaves and high branches. Interesting. So AI responded to us. All right, so I think that's where I'm going to leave you off at. We made some changes. We made a custom connector. We checked out the visibility. We did deployment name. We made this a variable, although we haven't updated it so you could use different models, but maybe that's for the next video. If you want to see an advanced video where we go into more detail, leave a comment. All this was pretty fun. Thank you all for watching. My name is Andrew Hess. If you like the content, like and subscribe. I'll see you next week.